hope so for my sake.
Obviously, NXT is on your mind. How about were any aspirations of New Japan Pro Wrestling, or is WWE really the end game for you?
Yeah, WWE is number one for me. Obviously, I won't turn anything down if it's offered, but that's where my focus is, and fingers crossed that's where I'll end up.
Well, we're hoping for you, and hopefully for Josh too. Would love to see you guys in there. I can see. I'm just saying, Monster Mafia and the Revolt. Those are a series of matches I'd definitely pay to see.
Awesome, dude. Thank you.
Of course. Let's say somebody hasn't seen Ethan Page wrestle. Any one, maybe two matches that you would say you want to see that as a professional wrestler here.
That's kind of tough, but I would say, probably the match I had in Orlando with Darby Allin is something of a spectacle. But pure wrestling, AIW, I had a match with Johnny Gargano at an event called Absolution. It's on YouTube for free. You could check it out. It's for AIW out of Cleveland. That's probably one of my favorite matches of my entire career. So if you want to watch one thing, watch that.
Absolutely. And we'll be sure to that on our Facebook. So you say it's out so people could see that. That's awesome. Aside from the Zach match you have coming up on May 20th, where are you working this weekend? What else you got matches you have coming up that we can look forward to?
This weekend on Friday night, I'll be wrestling for the Wrestling Revolver. It's Sami Callihan's promotion, and I'm very excited. I am in the AR Fox Scramble Invitational. I'm excited for that. And then Sunday, I'll be wrestling for Michael Elgin's promotion in St. Louis called Glory Pro Wrestling. And I'm in another Scramble match, which is wild for Ethan Page, but I'm excited because I get to wrestle a lot of new people, a lot of new faces. So it'll be a good weekend.
That's something we're definitely looking forward to. And, where can fans keep up with you? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram? What's your fans to keep up with what you're doing lately?
Easiest things are Twitter and Instagram. My Instagram is @official_ego, and my Twitter, which I use hourly, is @officialego, no underscore on that one. And everything through that, you'll be able to see upcoming events where I'll be, where you can get my T-shirts, my new YouTube videos, all that kind of sorts of stuff. So follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and you'll be updated instantly.
And before I let you know, ProWrestlingTees.com/Ethan Page. You have some of the coolest designs for a pro wrestling T-shirt. I think the Mafia Scooby-Doo shirt might be my favorite of all time.
Thanks, man. I drew that myself.
That's awesome, man. Listen, Ethan, we really appreciate you time taking to come on the All Night Long Wrestling podcast. I know you're busy, man. Everybody, make sure you check out Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and most important, WrestlingTees.com/page. Ethan, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
And that was Evolve Super, an all-around bad guy, Ethan Page. If you guys get a chance, matches with Darby Allin are some of the most brutal you will find. I believe Evolve has on their YouTube page. I'm not positive, but I'm definitely gonna take a look. But it was really, really super cool, for him to join us. You heard the schedule. I mean, I don't know how these guys do it. I got to be honest. I'm exhausted right now. Just listen to the schedule.
I have trouble commuting to work every day. I don't know how.
Obviously, we had trouble commuting home tonight.
That was a rough stretch. But I don't know how these guys do, man. I guess maybe you get used to it a little bit with just like travel in general. Like I know, like my career is obviously very different than what these guys do, but people that travel across the country and do different things, it wears on you having done it a couple. So these guys constantly doing it every single week, whether even in the United States or outside the country, like the UK or Japan, something like that.
Yeah.
The amount of travel time and then putting that sort of pain on their body every weekend is pretty insane how they do it.
Hey, a good friend of mine, Absolute Alvin, wrestles for NYW, and all the way I see him in the gym and he's working Monday through, and then got to wrestle on the weekend. You're going to Jersey, you're going to Florida. Nothing but respect people. Kind of makes me feel like a piece of shit by contrast.
I feel like that about myself every day, regardless of thinking about this. But yeah, this just kind of just adds to it. It makes it a little worse.
I feel like despite my broken, which is fractured in the T leaf.
The T8. That's what we got. The T8.
Yeah, the T8. My C4 and 5 are compressed, and my L5 and 6 are bone on bone. So if you hear me not talking this episode, it's because I passed away. That's where I'm at.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, had a good run. Let's wrap it up.
It was a good run.
So I did not watch this week. For anybody listening, we've recorded this on what's it? Wednesday.
May 3rd.
May 3rd. I feel like you were going to deliver some sort of impactful statement.
No, I drove all over Long Island today, and I was in my car, I think, for about 3 hours. And now we're here. I just took off my necktie. So that's where we're at. So I guess the end is
everything's going fine.
Yeah, I guess Ethan involved in indie wrestling to. I don't get to talk about Jinder Mahal. It really upsets me, and I'm sure everybody else listening to us that we don't get to speak about Jinder Mahal as often as we should.
You know, I was thinking we should.
It's too late for that.
Yeah. All right.
So we're not talking about SmackDown this week. We're going to talk about Payback. We're going to talk about a little bit of Monday Night Snort. Oh, Monday Night Raw. Sorry. Let's talk a little back. Frankly, I did not see Enzo and Cass versus Gallows on the pre-show. Did you see that?
I did not see the pre-show. I got home like just around 8 o'clock from where I was, so I picked it up.
What were you like, or were we?
No, it was my parents. That's what I was doing.
If family time is important.
I mean,
Sunday. True story. Sunday, 13-year-old's birthday party.
I didn't get my invite. It's weird.
No,
maybe it's not weird. I don't know. I guess I just popular. So,
but
no one wants to talk to the about pro wrestling. I guess
all 3 times RJ listens to this show, he wants to talk about pro wrestling.
That's true.
Anyway, Enzo and Cass versus Gallows and Anderson. Enzo and Cass win clean. I guess Gallows and Anderson are further just circling the drain, if you want. If we're gonna be honest in this week's episode. Most every other week when I sugarcoat things, right?
Well, I mean, I understand. You're just trying to,
I'm usually trying to keep the positivity.
PC.
I'm going to be PC up until the house match. And then I'm going to be nothing but damn, did that match suck. First match of the night was Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. I don't know if you know this, but they've once or twice before.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I did remember. I did notice that. So the clarification on the stipulation was that if Jericho won the title, that he would go to SmackDown, and if Owens had kept the title, he would just stay on SmackDown, and Jericho would stay on Raw. That was, I think, clarified like the night, because there's a lot of people asking, us included, leading up to it. Anyway, the match that was the opener. I thought it was a pretty good match for those guys. I thought it was better than their WrestleMania match, I would say. The crowd, which this show was in San Jose, I thought was also pretty good, pretty lively. So they were pretty vocal. It's much better when they're not sitting on their hand. And I thought these guys had a good match. They had a couple of calls. The WrestleMania match, and the long story short, I guess Jericho ended up winning the title by submission, which was a little surprise time. I didn't expect that to be the case.
We were 0 for this match.
We were 0 for 1. Yeah,
0 for 1,
it was widely kind of speculated or known that Jericho was going to be leaving this week to go on tour with his Fozzy. Playing at 89 North, actually, right up the road from all my.
We're partying here. We got all kinds of beer.
So it was a little surprising on that, but it was still a good match, I guess, and they're just kind of trade the title a little bit back and forth. Not going to really get to full SmackDown, but they did a rematch on SmackDown and Payback. So
I didn't know that. No, I didn't know
That's
that.
fine.
I don't watch SmackDown.
Out of here.
See, I stay away from the internet, so I don't know these
You
things.
stay away from the
I do. I really do.
the whole internet.
No, I mean, I visited xvideos.com for a while. But
The fact that we both know that's probably a real problem. So,
anyway,
what else do you want to talk about SmackDown? No spoilers. You don't want no spoilers. All right, we'll skip that then. We'll not talk about SmackDown.
Let me get my take on the Jericho. I love the continuity. I love how Jericho was working on the hand arm on the fingers, and it played into the finish of the match. I thought that was terrific. Smart, whoever laid out that match, and I love this match. So kudos to those two. Nelson Aries defeated Neville by disqualification. I don't know if I just had high hopes for this match, and I'm a little harsh on it, but I didn't think it was that great. These two guys, I think they're capable of so much better, and I don't know if they're handcuffed by the WWE, but it was serviceable. Let's call it serviceable. It was like a wave that it doesn't like it's supposed to turn, doesn't turn inside, but it still heats up your food, albeit, and that's what Neville and Aries was.
That's what it meant to you?
That's what it meant to me.
Okay.
What do you think of it?
I thought, I guess, by the opposite, I guess, of the match where I thought Jericho and Owens had a better match at the show than WrestleMania. I think Neville had a better match at WrestleMania than on this show. I thought the match was like pretty good, but the finish was it was a DQ, which was kind of lame. They could have obviously benefited from another like 5 minutes and finish, but it is what it is. I guess they're just trying to extend the out longer than because I don't know what other viable challengers they have now for Neville. So it seemed to me like they come up with a way to extend the feud further out for another pay-per-view, which is, I guess, is what they're trying to do. So I thought that the match was okay. The WrestleMania match was better, and the finish was kind of lame.
Yep, agreed. Next was the Hardy Boys against Sheamus and Cesaro. I thought it was a pretty good match. The end, it was the finish was a little bit weak. The swanton to the back of was it Sheamus?
I think Sheamus took the pin
after he punted Jeff Hardy's front right bicep into the third row.
Yes, that was post the tooth
extraction. I wonder if he broke that tooth. It has now become obsolete. Look at that.
It is an obsolete tooth.
It sure is, pal. I thought the match was pretty good, but like I said, the finish really didn't do it for me. I thought kind of weak. However, I did like the Sheamus and Cesaro heel turn afterwards, which I believe you called. Call that.
Yeah, well, leading up to they had two singles, right? The last 2 weeks on Raw was Jeff Hardy and Cesaro and Matt Hardy, and the Hardys won those matches respectively. And Sheamus and Cesaro shook their hands, which seemed just a little bit. It was a little odd, I guess. I didn't think that they would just continue doing that without it leading to a turn. I'm not sure if it would happen on this show or not, but it did. So they obviously, like you said, the finish was what it was, and the Sheamus and Cesaro left. Hardy were standing on the turnbuckle celebrating, and then they ran back off the turnbuckles and kind of gave him a at the end and turned, which I think was I think it's good. I like the turn. I think they can be a good team, and they had a nice promo, I thought, on Raw, just kind of explaining it a little bit and kind of asterisks. So I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, again, like to the end of the Jericho Owens match, I liked that it made sense. It kind of followed a pattern. They kind of gave you a little bit of backstory. Did it, and it was because if you look at what do they call that, story arc, I believe. Mm-hmm. You look at the story arc, how they wrote it, how they described it in the promo. It was really good storytelling. And Cesaro as a heel, I mean, he's going to get cheered no matter what, because people don't boo good professional wrestlers. I've come to that conclusion. I think BK was one that said that. He said the reason The Miz actually gets booed isn't that good in the ring. Whereas if he was better in the ring, people might appreciate him. I think that might make sense here. Yeah. But and they have some new attire, which we saw on Monday night.
Sweet jackets, right?
Yeah, they call them swackets for sweet and jacket, all in one word.
Doesn't mock me in the middle of the show. I don't know why you feel the need to.
No, I'm actually that want to say that many syllables.
Oh,